This is Tax System, the Predatory Lending Network. Now, the October unemployment report came out, and unemployment came in at 7.9%, and underemployment came in at 14.6%. Now, what do you folks think about that?
Well, if you look at the presidential election, and the number one thing is jobs, and both men have ideas, but they're strictly down the middle on their opinions on what needs to be done.
Realistically, I don't think whoever wins the presidential election can't change the way that unemployment is going, because neither one is going to get their agenda done, because Congress and the Senate are at each other's throats constantly. You know, you have to have a 60 vote in the Senate to get a president's agenda across without a veto across it. It never happens. That's the way it works now. Obama can't pass anything because Republicans won't see it.
I was just worried I was cutting you off.
It's all right.
Now, the labor force participation rate is at 63.8%, meaning only 63.8% of people able to work are working. So shouldn't the real unemployment rate actually be 36.2%?
I think it's a lot higher than the numbers. It's just that people aren't reporting that they're not working as they were maybe a few years ago.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're getting free handouts, why do you want to work? You're getting welfare, food stamps, etc. If these people want welfare, food stamps, make them do extra work around the highway systems and stuff like that to earn what you're getting paid for.
Now, employment rose in professional and business services, healthcare, retail trade. There was little change in wholesale trade, transportation and warehousing, information and financial activities, and government. And 9,000 people lost their jobs in the mining sector. What do you think about that?
I think they're closing down, like you said, the mining and maybe any other kind of like natural resources, because if it's not producing any jobs, they don't want to be wasting any money on it, so the government is cutting funding. Therefore, people are losing their jobs.
This is really the evil empire. All of our little smartphones, because they're all made in China. They're all made in America. We'd have a lot more jobs here, but then nobody's going to want to pay $1,000 for a smartphone, are they? So there's your problem. We're cheap-ass people who want to have great products, so jobs go to China. Blame ourselves for this problem.
Now, unemployment for teenagers is at 23.7%. Now, unemployment for teenagers is 23.7%. Unemployment for teenagers are 23.7%. Many of them are college graduates and not able to find work. What is in store for this planet's future? And do you think college is a scam?
I don't think college is a scam. I think what they need to do is I think companies need to help pay for college educations and then force, in a sense, in return for paying for school, they need to sign a contract saying they're going to work with said company for at least 3 to 5 years.
College is a scam, you know, because a lot of the graduates are getting jobs. Problem is many of them are not getting what they want to get, so they're not actually looking for jobs, so they're claiming unemployment. Just get a job, period, and you'll eventually get into where you want to go. Work yourself up a ladder. Don't expect to get paid big bucks right away just because you graduated college. I didn't, so work yourself up, brother.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
Remember to vote.
Vote for Spartans.
Yes, this is Sparta.
Yes.
So this is Tax System, the Predatory Lending Network, signing out. Now, this is Tax System, the Predatory Lending Network. Now, the October unemployment report came out, and unemployment came in at 7.9%, and underemployment came in at 14.6%. Now, what do you think about that?
That's pretty sad. I think that's shows America's not doing well right now.
Now, labor force participation rate was at 63.8%, meaning only 63.8% of people able to work are working. So shouldn't the real unemployment rate actually be 36.2%?
Yeah, when the figures come out about unemployment, it's really hard to believe them, because you know that your friends and family are unemployed at the moment, and people who have like major degrees. So it's hard to believe any of the numbers that are coming out over the news, because you can actually see what's going on the streets. So
now, employment rose in professional and business services, healthcare, and retail trade. Yet there was little change in wholesale trade, transportation and warehousing, information activities, and government. And also 9,000 people lost their jobs in the mining sector. Now, what do you think about that?
I think that it just goes to show you that the business corporations are winning because people in lower trade and middle class jobs are just going to keep losing their jobs, and it's going to create a bigger separation between the two classes, definitely.
Now, unemployment for teenagers is at 23.7%, and many of them have college degrees and can't find work. Now, what is in store for this planet's future because so many young people can't find work? Do you think college is a scam?
Well, I can tell you that I hope it's not a scam because I'm currently in it. I'm going to school right now to get a master's degree in English composition to be an English teacher. So, but if you want my opinion, yeah, I believe that it costs more and more money every semester to go to school. You can get in less classes, and honestly, there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to work after you get out of school and spend all that money trying to get your education. So in my opinion, right now it definitely needs to be redone for sure.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
Nothing really, just have a happy con, and I hope you get a lot of good turnout today.
So what's in your basket here?
I've got my wolf's head. We got into a confrontation and he lost, so yep. I'm carrying them around today.
Okay, so I guess we all know what's for dinner later today. So in closing, This is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network signing out. Now this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network. Now the October unemployment report is out, and unemployment came in at 7.9% and underemployment at 14.6%. Now what do you think about that?
I don't know what to think about that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What was the question again?
The first one?
That the unemployment rate has gone up. It's kind of sad and disturbing that people who are willing to work aren't able to work. And I'm sorry, I don't know.
Now, the labor force participation rate is at 63.8%, meaning only 63.8% of people able to work are working. Now, shouldn't the real unemployment rate actually be 36.2%?
It should be true. People should be able to work and not have to be on unemployment.
Employment rose in professional and business services, healthcare and retail trade, and wholesale, transportation and warehousing, information, activities, and government. But 9,000 people lost their jobs in the mining industry. Now, what do you think about that?
Again, I'm not quite sure what to think about that. If the jobs are out there for the people, they should be able to work and do what they do best.
Now, teenage unemployment is at 23.7%, and many of them have college degrees and can't find work. Now, what is in store for this planet's future where so many young people can't find work? Do you think college is a scam?
I don't think necessarily it's a scam. I do find it disheartening that people who go to college to better educate themselves and get a higher degree, they're not able to land the job, but the people who don't have degrees or knowledge land jobs.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
No, just stay positive and do what you can do to land a job.
So in closing, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network signing out. Now, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network, and the October unemployment report is out, and unemployment came in at 7.9% and underemployment at 14.6%. Now, what do you folks think about that?
I think that there should be more jobs out there, and it's a shame that there are so many unemployed people that can't provide for families or for themselves.
You, Harley?
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same. I feel there should be more jobs, and it's harder for teenagers and people in college to get jobs to work and pay for their college and everything. So.
Now, you mentioned teenage unemployment. Now, teenage unemployment is the highest in the galaxy at 23.7%, and many of them have college degrees and can't find work. What do you think in store for this planet's future with so many college kids unable to get work? Do you think college is a scam?
I don't think it's a scam. I do think that college isn't for everyone, and if someone isn't serious about going to college, then they should go right into getting a part-time job and then working from there. Because I do think, well, I know that if you get out of college, you can't find a job right away, and then you have so much debt that it is hard to get a job and to pay it off.
Now, Harley, you're a doctor. What kind of employment situation are you in with your doctorate?
Well, I have to agree that college isn't a scam, but the problem is some of the degrees you go out for that can get you into certain jobs. It's just with unemployment, it's hard to get those jobs, so you sit around with a degree that you can't do anything with. And yeah, it's impossible to find a really good job. And if you don't want to go to school and you're doing part-time, sometimes it's not enough to get you by.
Now, labor force participation rate is at 63.8%, meaning only 63.8% of people that can work are working. Now, shouldn't the real unemployment rate actually be 36.2%?
I don't understand the question.
The labor force participation rate is people who are able to work that are actually working. So the government says that only 63.8% of people are actually working. And yet they tell us the unemployment rate's this. Well, if only 63% of people are working,
That there are people that...
isn't the actual real unemployment rate actually much higher?
Well, I mean, there are some people that just like have disabilities and that have injuries where it make it so they can't work, so that they're relying on government income. So I think that they're excluding those people in the unemployment rate.
Yeah, I don't think that's, you know, those people can't work. They're on disability. They are taking government income, so they're just not including them in the whole deal.
Now, there were employment rose in professional and business services, healthcare, and retail trade. Yet there was little... employment rose in professional and business services, healthcare, and retail trade. There was little change in wholesale trade, transportation and warehouse, information activities, and financial and government. But 9,000 people lost their jobs in the mining sector. What do you think about that?
I think that so many people should not have had their jobs taken away. I'm not sure if it was for safety reasons or it was just closing down that job or whatever, but that many people should not have lost their job.
I'm not completely informed on why they lost their jobs, but yeah, I agree that those people shouldn't have lost their jobs. That's a lot, and it's just ridiculous.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
Nope.
To the folks in Gotham or the rest of the galaxy, anything?
Watch out, bats, because here we come.
So in closing, this is Tax System, the Predatory Lending Network, signing out. Okay, this is Tax System, the Predatory Lending Network, talking to you. Now, I'm here with Princess Amidala.
Queen Amidala.
Queen Amidala, asking her about the unemployment report, because the October unemployment report came out, and unemployment came in at 7.9%, and underemployment came in at 14.6%. Now, what do you think about that?
Well, you know, Naboo has been hit really hard by the embargo put on us by the Trade Federation. I think that if the Republic could do a little more in their negotiating stance, that perhaps if the embargo could be lifted, we could, you know, get our people back to work, have less suffering.
So you basically blame the Galactic Senate?
Yes. Well, as the Queen of the Naboo, like, our senator I know works very hard for us, and I know that they're a very hard-working body, but they need to be doing more.
Now, the labor force participation rate on your planet is at 63.8%, meaning 63.8% of people who can work are working. Now, shouldn't the real unemployment actually be reported as 36.2%?
Well, that's a complicated question, you see, because people can get hired to do things that they're not technically qualified to do, or there's a lot of low-skill labor.
Now, there was job increases in professional and business services, healthcare, and retail trade. Yet there was little change in wholesale and transportation, information and warehousing, and financial services, and government. But 9,000 people lost their jobs in the mining sector. Now, what do you think about that?
Well, mining was never a huge operation on Naboo, I must be honest with you, but, you know, if we can make sure that our mines are operating at their full efficient capacity, we don't want to overemploy our mines, because otherwise we're just going to strip our planet of its resources, and that is also not something we want to do.
Now, unemployment for teenagers is the highest in the galaxy at 23.7%, and many of these college Unemployment for teenagers is the highest in the galaxy at 23.7%, and many of them are in college and can't find work. Now, what's in store for this planet's future if so many young people can't find work? Do you actually think college is a scam?
I do not think college is a scam. Education is very important. I had to get a lot of education to be elected queen. It's not an inherited title here on Naboo. So it's very important to be educated. When the jobs start coming back in, people are going to need to be able to know how to do their jobs and be able to think outside the box. It's not just important to learn how to do skills, it's important to learn how to think, because then you can always be learning new things.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say to the folks around the galaxy?
Just keep on hoping for the Naboo. Hope that the embargo gets lifted, that the Jedi can help with the negotiations. I hear they've been sending some negotiators, and that we can come to a peaceful resolution to everything.
So in closing, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network, signing out.